And now what? I don't know. But I do know that I get asked, and now what, fairly often, and the answer is seriously, I don't know. I can't tell the future, as far as you know. Oh, I thought that someone was gonna, now what? Now, the first time I got asked, and now what, was the time that I think everybody else got asked it for at least the first or second time truly in their life, and it's immediately after high school. And you're not gonna believe this, but I still didn't know. So, what did I decide? I decided I don't like getting asked, and now what? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to college for something, and I chose mechanical engineering, because that couldn't be hard, could it? It was really hard. It was actually the hardest course I could have chosen. Whoops. But it did get rid of the and now what's for like quite a while, which was really, really nice. I just had to deal with an insane amount of math, which was not nice. It was really hard. So like any good juggler, I dropped out. Plus, and now what was answered for everybody around that time because it was everybody's favorite quarantine. Yay! And now what? I'm gonna watch a movie and TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and a TV show and a documentary and sit on the couch and be a little lonely and yeah, it was great for about a week, and then everybody started asking, and now what again, which kind of threw a whole wrench in the whole solving the and now what problem. Now let's stop talking about my life story and talk about what an and now what can look like. And now what's usually come along when you finished like a project or a season, like I'm hoping this winter season finishes soon. But I think that might still be a ways out. It can also be disguised as a, oh, and what's next? Or, how's that going for ya? Oh, the and how's that going for yas? Those are the worst, because that means the person you're talking to has zero confidence in you. Like, at all. And now what? To show you just how much confidence this alleged person has in you, I'm gonna show you something of equal confidence that I have in me, which is of course beating the world record number juggling record for 14 balls. There's a lot of them. So I brought my official from the Guinness of the world record variety. Say hi. Hi. I thought you said you're from Guinness. Well, I was, and then we had some budget cuts. Here goes nothing. Literally. Now what? And now what's don't just come from other people. They also come from within. Like yourself. You ask yourself, and now what, all the time. Like, I ask myself, and now what, after every single juggling trick that I learn, every video that I make, and every single joke that I tell. And this one's mostly from other people, but it's also myself because I don't know the answer yet. But right now I'm getting asked a lot of, what are you gonna do for the winter? And now what are you gonna do for the winter? And now what? I don't know. Okay, so I thought that there'd be more snow for this shot, but it got warm, and then everything melted, and then it got cold again. So there's still a little bit of snow, but I do not understand what the weather is right now. But I do get asked that question, the what are you gonna do for the winter question, the most at farmers markets, because farmers markets are done for the season. Even the winter markets are done, which are the indoor ones. But people always see me juggling, and they're like, you can't juggle in the winter, your hands will be too cold, they'll fall off, your fingers will break off, like that scary scene in Pirates of the Caribbean. But thankfully that has not happened to me yet. I can juggle outside still. And also, I've decided that the strangers at the farmer's market, I don't need to have a fulfilling answer for them this year. I have officially decided. Scratch that. I don't think I've actually decided anything. The point of and now what is that I don't know. So I've decided I don't have to know. I don't need to go back to school to give a fulfilling answer. I don't need a different job that seems more real job-like. So I'm already educated and jobbed enough. I know what derivative is and integrals are. And I can tell you that integrals are not an integral part of life. Parabolas are, though. Okay, they're only kind of useful for a juggler. Check this out. Parabola! Parabola! It's a lot of parabolas. Now it's a little parabola, big parabola. And now let's try y equals mx plus b. And now there's a hole in my ceiling. Oops. And now what? So basically what I'm trying to say is that I don't actually have a backup plan for this winter, so be sure to go check out the Patreon page. It's patreon.com/EvanTheJuggler, and it gets you exclusive access to all kinds of exclusive Evan the Juggler content, like TikToks that were too raunchy for TikTok, or too dangerous for TikTok, or even videos of my live performances, like on a stage, to a live audience. It's pretty fun. And of course, much, 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 much more. So thank you, patrons, for supporting this video and this channel and helping me do this. It's pretty fun. I enjoy it thoroughly, and you guys are awesome, and now what? Let's talk about what to do after you pull off a juggling trick, and move slightly farther away from the philosophical questions, because I don't have the qualifications to answer those, other than saying do what makes you happy, but that's not always the best advice. So back to juggling tricks. Learning a new juggling trick is one of my favorite parts of juggling, only to be bested by performing a new juggling trick. That always feels good. But once I learn a new juggling trick, I go, sweet, let's see if I can do it again. And if I can, and I do it well enough, then I go, okay, now what? So then I have to find a new juggling trick, and new juggling tricks are hard to find because, well, most of them are too hard. But you gotta find that nice sweet spot between a trick that's cool enough that you actually want to learn and perform it, and one that's too easy that you can pull it off first try. Because if it's too easy, then it's just like stealing candy from a baby. Don't ask where I got this. So I look for juggling tricks in everything. Not like that, don't worry. But I mean like online. Mainly because I don't have friends to juggle with in person, but that is option one. If you do have friends, hopefully, and they also juggle, even if they're worse than you, they probably have something that they could teach you, or at least inspire you to learn something slightly harder. So, go make some friends that juggle. It's great, I promise. If I had friends. Option number two is to find a library of tricks, like this one here. This is called Library of Juggling. This one I've used my entire life, it works really well. We also have Taylor Try. She posts a lot of stuff online for how to learn how to juggle. And we also have Juggling Mastery by Lauri Koskinen, which is also incredible and like filled to the brim with juggling tricks. Plus, it always has an answer to, and now what? It's the next trick on the list. It answers, it's every time, it just works. It's the next trick afterwards. Plus, they usually have like the prerequisites you need to learn and like tutorials on how to do it. It's usually pretty helpful. Now, if you finished every single thing on all of the libraries and you're just too good at juggling, how? And option number three is, of course, do a freestyle session. Not with a microphone, but like singing. Nope, unless you're a singer. It's juggling, of course, but basically, grab some juggling props and start juggling, figure out some random stuff, and you'll be surprised what you come up with your accidental catches. Like, for example, all of these next tricks were inspired by accidental catches. And accidental drops. Those happen a lot too. But basically they were all accidents. And you know what else was an accident? Got it. Option number four is the one that I use the most often, which is of course, Instagram. Instagram is the place where jugglers post the tricks that they just managed to pull off. Or if you're me, it's where you post your silly jokes, like this one. How did the juggler cross the road? No, why did the juggler get across the road? To get to the other side. But how did they? Well, while juggling and walking. It's usually how it goes. On Instagram, you can find jugglers that have a similar skill level to you so that you don't get disheartened when you see everybody juggling 9 clubs. Yeah, after 13 years, I'm still on 5, but I'm sure, like, what, 3 more days of solid practice, I'll totally get 9, yeah? Yeah, no. Now what? And now I say thank you for watching. I hope you solve some of your and now what's in the future, and I certainly had a lot of and now what's recently, so I wanted to make a couple jokes about it. Which I did, so that's a solid start, and of course I hope you enjoyed the video. I laughed at least once and had approximately 2 quick nose exhales, and 1 subscription to my Patreon page. No pressure. But yes, you can find me on all the social medias at Evan the Juggler. I'll be here. Somewhere. Probably working on the next video idea, I gotta do that now. But I'm thinking something to do with hats? Like, here, I came up with a joke for it. You ready? What did the jugglers say to the hat when they walked into the bar? Oh, you go on ahead. Thank you. Thank you for watching, and now what?